Tesla just sued Sweden. This is because the country's postal service has basically stopped delivering new license plates, which prevents new vehicles from being registered in Sweden. Tesla says that not accessing the registration plates constitutes an unlawful discriminatory attack directed at Tesla. And one union said about Tesla in Sweden, Tesla shows that they do not accept the rules that prevail in Sweden. Yeah, but if the union basically loses here, that means they broke the law, because otherwise how would you win this lawsuit? The union here has taken some disgusting actions because the employees that work for Tesla, they do not want to be under a collective agreement because they think that this way they will actually make more money, and being under the union, they think they will make less money and they will be treated worse. So therefore they do not want the union to intervene here, but they did it anyway. And so Tesla is now suing the Swedish state. These new license plates are manufactured and then they have to go through PostNord, a postal service, because otherwise Sweden says, well, how do we know that the plates actually get where they need to get? A manufacturer just cannot come and collect these license plates because maybe they will go to some place where they shouldn't. So therefore only this one postal agency can handle all the license plates. But Tesla is proposing this as a solution. Tesla demands that the court decide on a so-called temporary security measure and link it to a fine of 1 million kroner, which would be 100,000 USD roughly, or the amount the district court finds reasonable so that Tesla can pick up the signs on its own. That sounds very reasonable to me. If the fine the court thinks is too low, just increase the fine by, let's say, 10 times or something like that. Things are happening so fast. When I started recording the video, there was nothing about Tesla winning this lawsuit, and now I pretty much finished, and here we go. Tesla has won in this Swedish court, and now Tesla will be able to collect its license plates from the Scandinavian manufacturer. So basically, the strike now, it's not great for Tesla overall, but Tesla can continue operating with some roadblocks that are not really all that bad. Tesla can maneuver and overcome all of the other strikes and protests that are going on against Tesla currently in Sweden. So it's not really a big deal anymore. And as much as we talked about Sweden and how the unions are slow, for example, and ineffective, the Swedish court system seems different. They moved so fast. This is a huge victory for Tesla. It is getting real. There were 21 Cybertrucks spotted at Giga, Texas. I do not think that all of them were made on the same day in one day, but we are certainly seeing quite a few Cybertrucks now. And now over 25 Cybertrucks have been spotted at Giga, Texas today. What a sight. Some of them are really dirty, but most look pretty good. This is a bit unexpected, and Indonesia is really going to be jealous of Thailand. Thailand Prime Minister stated in an interview that Tesla senior management will visit Thailand this week to discuss potential site selection for a new factory. He said Tesla plans to invest at least $5 billion. Already plans to invest $5 billion is what I'm getting from this. The Prime Minister expressed that Tesla is very interested in Thailand's investment environment and believes that Thailand has abundant resources and good infrastructure, which will help it achieve its strategic goals of global expansion. But this whole thing is written a little bit ambiguously. It says Tesla has expressed its willingness to establish a new factory, but not a commitment to establish a new factory. But then at the same time, it says, and plans to invest at least $5 billion. So maybe there's a translation thing going on here. But earlier this year, I listened to an interview with the Prime Minister of Thailand, and he was very keen on getting Tesla into Thailand. He was also seen driving a Model Y. Actually, his wife has a Model Y. And it is abundantly clear that Thailand really wants Tesla and that Thailand would be very cooperative with Tesla, unlike some other countries. I mean, India did not even want to give import tariff reductions to Tesla for such a long time. So I view India as slightly, not exactly very welcoming, but Thailand seems different. But the way I take this news is that the factory is not confirmed yet, but is likely to be confirmed. But it is very interesting that Tesla is not just focusing on India, it wants to build in Thailand, and we are not really hearing much about China. Maybe Tesla wants to diversify away from China and, if possible, just import vehicles to China from Thailand, maybe? Because the geopolitical situation in China right now is a bit interesting. But then Tesla would have to pay 15% tariffs, which sounds quite high, actually, really high. So I don't think that would really work unless Thailand and China have some sort of an exemption. I'm not aware of that, but I'll check later. This could also just be a negotiation tactic with India, or possibly maybe India is not really giving Tesla what it wants, and therefore Tesla is looking into Thailand now instead of India. Either way, I think it is really good to let India know that, hey, look, we have other options, so you better give us a better deal or we are going someplace else. Here are two features that they didn't really quite know that the Cybertruck had. First, when you turn it on, the Cybertruck, the light greets you like this, and then it actually goes up. So I would assume it would normally be parked in the low suspension setting, which will make it easier for you to get in the Cybertruck later, and then it goes to this higher setting once you start driving it. Supposedly, it only went to medium height, and that already, to me, looked pretty high. And here's the Cybertruck charging port. This is the current one, and this was the old one. I think in some ways, this maybe looks a bit better, but this makes a lot more sense in terms of production because it's more of a square shape. This has this edge right here, probably just a bit harder to mass produce this. And you still have a light, it's just that it's not a Tesla logo that's lit up. Chuck says, I am confident the fact we don't have any Cybertruck pricing yet is because Tesla has a shock and awe moment coming. Pricing will be good, range may not be what we hoped, but as long as pricing is in the right zone, it will sell millions. Okay, let's think about this logically. If Tesla had a lower price planned, a price that many people would be really happy with, why wouldn't they just announce pricing sooner? Because you then can have more pre-orders, no? Unless you do have some details that are disappointing. For example, like Chuck pointed out, maybe the range will not be as good. And before, Elon said that the Cybertruck will be a little bit more. He said that earlier this year. So I would expect the price certainly to be more than the original announced pricing. And if we look at Tesla's past behavior, Tesla usually starts with a somewhat high price, and then gradually over time, the price gets lower. So I would sort of expect the same thing to continue. But if the starting price is relatively low, I think that would be fairly bullish because that indicates that Tesla's cost of production is not that high. The good thing about all of this is we don't need to wait long. We will find out on Thursday exactly what is going on. Mark your calendars, people. The event will start at 11 a.m. Pacific time, or 2 p.m. Eastern time. Elon Musk just visited Israel. I posted a video earlier today, a 20-minute discussion basically between the Prime Minister of Israel and Elon Musk. I think as Tesla stock investors, it is good to know what Elon Musk is up to and what he is thinking, because that then lets us understand what is in his mind, and if he's occupied with anything else, we also then know how much attention he's paying to Tesla. And this is not exactly the safest place in the world. I'm glad that Elon is safe. And I cannot possibly imagine how an honest person could look at this video and say that Elon Musk is somehow an anti-Semite. The general consensus is that in Europe, the Model Y will be the best-selling vehicle of any kind this year. However, in China, the Model Y has lost the crown to this one BYD vehicle last month and is now in second place. But we know that Tesla's deliveries usually come in waves, so there's a good chance that Tesla will claim back the #1 position, and we'll finish with the Model Y being the #1 best-selling vehicle in all of China of any kind. That BYD vehicle, by the way, is a plug-in hybrid, so it's not really an EV. Tesla's Model Y will be, either way, a best-selling EV of any size in all of China this year. And here's a list of best-selling BEVs in China in October. You can see that the Model Y was #3, and these are pure BEVs. However, look at the price of each of these here, and you will see that the Model Y is so much more expensive. The Model Y basically costs twice as much compared to this BYD vehicle. And despite that, this BYD BEV is significantly behind Tesla year to date. Tesla remains by far the most shorted stock on the stock market. And so Kevin put together a theory. He says that in 2022, Elon Musk sold about $24 billion of stock to finance his X purchase. The stock fell 65% or 229 points. Now there are about $17 billion in shorts, or about 70% of Elon's sale. An unwinding of these shorts with rough math could support a $160 upside to Tesla stock, pushing Tesla to $395. While this does sound interesting, I'm not as optimistic as Kevin, because there would probably be new short sellers that are not shorting Tesla stock right now, but would at a higher level. And during the summer, Tesla stock at one point was close to $300, and the short sellers right now, I don't think they are really all that disappointed, unless they shorted Tesla stock back in December of last year or January of this year, and then yeah, they are burning. Also, I think that just the sole fact of Elon selling Tesla stock, it was not just about some more Tesla stock being sold than usual. I think some investors had lower confidence because, oh, the CEO is selling the stock, so this is not good. And therefore, some of these people sold Tesla stock as well. Elon then certainly spent a lot more time outside of Tesla than before, which distracted him perhaps a little bit. So again, some investors had lower confidence in Elon than before. Some speculated that perhaps Elon knows something that we regular investors do not know about yet. For example, the demand is slowing down, and therefore Tesla would cut its prices, which Tesla did eventually. So I don't think it was just as simple as, oh, okay, this amount of Tesla stock was sold and therefore the stock was pushed down. I think there is certainly a point to be made here, but I just would not be as bullish as Kevin. He has added some caveats, but he says, in his opinion, once we get through Q4 earnings and rates trend down, $400 per share is an easy next stop for Tesla stock. Here's some more good news for Tesla stock investors. A class action lawsuit against Tesla involving allegations of intrusive video recordings will not see its day in court, as a judge has decided to send the case to arbitration. It was claimed that Tesla employees had access to this footage and between 2019 and 2022 shared it for personal reasons. But Tesla says that he failed to demonstrate any improper access or sharing of video footage, as well as any resulting injuries, and therefore the judge sided with Tesla. There was another crash that happened 2 days ago where a Tesla suddenly started accelerating, but it was found that during the collision, the vehicle's acceleration pedal was pressed down 100%, causing the speed to rise from about 30 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour. Here's what the car looks like after the collision. Tesla dominated this EV award show. It clinched top honors in innovation, efficiency, and 3 additional categories. This was at the Fully Charged Awards. I don't really care much about these personally, but if they give us titles and awards, I think we should take them. Lucid has won many awards, and despite that, they are heading for bankruptcy anyway. Bernstein analyst Tony Sacconaghi has reiterated his Tesla stock sell rating and $150 price target. We struggled to bridge the $600 billion valuation gap that exists between Tesla and BYD, and rate Tesla underperform and BYD outperform. We believe that in the long term, valuations matter, and based on fundamentals, valuations between Tesla and BYD are more likely to converge than diverge. Even though BYD has said very clearly before that they are not really even trying to work on full self-driving. Just to give you one example, We are significantly below consensus for 2024 and continue to recommend an underweight position for BYD. The top debate is around margin, but we are constructive on BYD's near to medium term margin outlook given tailwinds from premiumization and export. Also, how come I'm not seeing anything about pure BEV margin from BYD? We see the overall margin, which includes hybrids, but how about the pure BEV margin? And Farzad is a polite gentleman, so he went ahead and fixed what Tony was trying to say. We struggle to understand what the future looks like with Tesla's obvious dominance in auto, self-driving, energy, AI, and robotics technology. We just learned that Tesla will be including a little washer for the new front bumper camera. We are finding out about this because there are pieces of code in the new software update that show that indeed it will be happening. Also, there's some evidence of Apple Podcasts coming soon. So that's a welcome update. Oh, Reuters is reporting that Volkswagen's 10.9 billion savings program will include staff reductions, managers told staff, as its brand chief warned the high cost and low productivity were making its cars uncompetitive. In the meantime, the CEO of Mazda, which makes one bad EV, says that EVs do not sell. The data that they are looking at will suggest that EV demand is slowing down because they are only looking at their sales and not at the whole industry. Elon's company Neuralink has raised an additional $43 million. Many people think that Neuralink is just a tiny company, but actually it's a multi-billion dollar company already. Remember how we had some trouble earlier this year in New York? Workers United claimed that within days of announcing a union campaign earlier this year, Tesla fired dozens of workers from its autopilot department. Tesla has said that the firings were based on performance reviews and not tied to union activity. And for a moment, it did not look, well, it was not a great look for Tesla. The timing just coincided like that. But we also heard before, when I reviewed that specific problem at that time, we knew from months before that Tesla was going to do a review of everyone's performance, and there was an order from many months before that to basically downsize. If you remember, Elon ordered everyone at Tesla to basically stop hiring because maybe there's going to be a bad recession. And this whole situation led to a bad look for Tesla. But a US labor board has dismissed claims that Tesla illegally fired employees working on autopilot software at a New York factory to put an end to union organizing. So this is good news for Tesla. It took a while for Tesla to be exonerated, but today things are going well for Tesla. Things that are related to unions. Tesla's charging infrastructure senior director was named among the 100 most influential in the climate category. So congratulations goes to Rebecca. Alexandra thinks that Rebecca will go very far in her career with Tesla. And looking at her work history, it is certainly pretty impressive. She received promotions very quickly once she joined Tesla. She's certainly someone to keep an eye on. Lithium prices just keep falling pretty much every week, but it is still thought that it will take 1 year for supply and demand balance to reach a nice level. Bloomberg's latest research indicates that this year, battery pack prices have fallen about 14%. Keep in mind, these are in real 2023 dollars. So if you look at previous prices, these are basically going to be adjusted for inflation. And it is very clear that this trend is going to continue, especially with lithium prices falling so much. I found this clip that basically summarizes Elon's visit to Israel.
It was certainly been a day, I would say an emotionally difficult day, to see the places where people were murdered. And to also watch the video where the murderers are rejoicing.
Exactly, that's the
deaths.
worst part in the movie.
Yes.
I was shocked by it. Celebrating
the murder of
Yeah.
innocent people is extremely disturbing.
I just posted a new exclusive video on Patreon about my concern related to the Cybertruck. By joining my Patreon, you will get access to how much I think it is fair to pay per Tesla share each year between 2023 and 2033. If you sign up for the investor tier of support, you will also get my valuation model of Tesla stock with a 45-minute video walkthrough. And make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. It really helps the channel. My name is Matt Postius, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.